It's news. It's probably not the news we were waiting for, but nevertheless, it's news. Joe Veleno has signed a 1-year contract with the Montreal Canadiens that carries a cap hit of $900,000. This, for some reason, has a lot of fans up in arms. I'm here to tell you why this is not such a big deal, although you might be a little bit discouraged by it. Let's talk about it. So initial reactions, right? And I don't blame anybody for these. Montreal signed a center. Montreal signed a center. Yeah, they signed a center. Finally, someone to fill in on the second line. Oh, no. He's a fourth line center. Maybe he fills in on the third line. Or maybe not at all. Maybe he spends the entire time in Laval. I'm getting ahead of myself here, but the main message that I want to get across is don't panic. Don't need to panic. Keep calm and carry on. Remember when the early days of the internet, I shouldn't say the early days of the internet, I should say like the early aughts of the internet, people were making posters and it was keep calm and love a vegan or keep calm and collect Pokemon cards or whatever. What was up with that? I'm pretty sure that was taken from British World War II posters that urged their people to keep calm and carry on, during the Blitzkrieg or something like that. I would like you to keep calm and subscribe to my channel. We're like, 200 subscribers away from 15,000 subscribers? It blows my mind that we've gotten this far. I set out to do this as, a hobby, as a fun hobby. And now I've got like YouTube contacting me, asking me, what I've been doing right, putting me into boot camps and sending me swag like this sweatshirt, saying I'm like the 2000th fastest growing YouTube channel in Canada or whatever. Pretty fun stuff. I could not have done any of it without you guys. So again, from the bottom of my heart, and I'll continue saying it until I'm blue in the face, thank you so much for making this community great. Back to the topic at hand. Joe Veleno, why isn't this such a bad thing? Well, after the gut reaction wears off and you realize, he's not a second line C, which I'm not accusing you of thinking Joe Veleno is that, but it's no secret that's what, we're missing along with 27 other teams in the NHL. But it smacks me right in the face how much Joe Veleno is a stopgap solution, or I guess at best, an emergency player that has demonstrated that they can play in the NHL. But if you could just humor me for a minute, I am going to be Joe Veleno's lawyer. I would like to represent him as a defendant in the case against how good a player Joe Veleno is. Joe Veleno is 25 years old. He's 6'1", around 200 pounds. He's played 5 seasons in the NHL, and the majority of the time it was for the Detroit Red Wings, who are in the midst of a rebuild. Last year, he was traded from Detroit to the Chicago Blackhawks, who are in the midst of a rebuild. Throughout his tenure in the NHL, his best season was in 23-24 when he managed 80 games, 12 goals, and 16 assists. 28 points in 80 games. Man, who does that remind me of? It's really ringing a bell, but it's not coming to me. All right, I'm joking around a little bit, but again, I'm representing Joe Veleno. Yeah, he's playing on Detroit where they have some actual talent, but in 23-24, he's not playing with like Patrick Kane and Alex DeBrincat. Well, he literally does play with those guys, but he's mostly playing with like Daniel Sprong, David Perron, Andrew Kopp, Michael Rasmussen, Christian Fischer, Robbie Fabry, Klim Kostin. You know what I'm saying, though? I'm already not a huge fan of what the Detroit Red Wings are doing with their team. I do not believe in the Yzer plan. And I also want to just say for the record that if my top 2 defensemen were Moritz Seider and Simon Edvinsson, and then you were to tell me everything after that takes a huge dip, yeah, I'd have some serious concerns. So I know that the mob is going wild. I know that, the general consensus for Joe Veleno is he is a depth guy. But his face-off percentage is better than I think 3 out of the 4 guys on Montreal. Look at these goals.
Play to Vele-no, goes wide with it. Vele-no then circling the net, looks for somebody, still has it, and he scores! What a play!
Scored 4 to offset it.
Oh, is that in?
That's
I
in.
think it is.
It's in.
I think that's off the back bar and out from Joe Veleno. Until February 15th, right in the thick of the Pacific. In front of the goal for Vele-no, and he scores!
There's something there. Okay, I'm taking off my lawyer hat for my client, Mr. Veleno, and I'm going to pour even more water on the fire. Laval fans, you've lost some players this season. You've gained some players, but you've lost some players and some key players to the success that the Rocket had last season and into the playoffs. Correct me if I'm wrong, but we lost Semeno. Gignac is gone to greener pastures. Dauphin's not returning, right? And the individual who I said kind of jokingly, but you know, the more I think about it, the more I'm pretty close with this one. The individual who I think Joe Veleno is replacing, Alex Barré-Boulet, who led the team in points last season and is now in Colorado's system. I still think that, you know, Barré-Boulet could have deserved another little shot, but he's 28 years old now. He's aging out of the development plan. So yeah, maybe it was time to take on some fresher blood like our friend Veleno. So that's the good news. Whiskeylung bringing the good news.
Thinking about the muscle on paper, boy. Wishing he'd come by and bring me some good news.
But I think at the start of the video, I kind of alluded to there being some bad news or news to be disappointed about. And for me, I think that there is a little bit of caution here, but I want to believe that Joe Veleno is truly just there for a stopgap measure or a measure for emergencies, an injury or what have you. Yeah, I think that he could find his way into the Montreal lineup, but they're going to be giving opportunities. It's not just going to be the Veleno's been put into the lineup, he sticks there. I really want to believe that, you know, Kapanen's going to get an opportunity. Owen Beck is going to get another shot. Sean Farrell might be, I don't know. He came back really solidly last season in Laval. He's what now though? Is he 23, 24? And then there's Florian Jacki. You know, I'd like to see all these guys get an opportunity to demonstrate that they can be those players that maybe isn't not necessarily following Montreal's path as much as we thought they could have, but are really capable depth players that can be used in a pinch or showing enough positive upside that they could be little tiny development projects. I mean, these kids are still, what, 21 years old? Yeah, but Beck, Jacki, and Kapanen are still 21 years old. There's a little bit of runway there. So I don't blame you if you're thinking about those guys who we want to create positive equity in, demonstrate that they're valuable, maybe valuable to a team who is rebuilding or to a team that is trying to retool on the fly and potentially get some bargains for them down the road. I would love for one of these to be a great story that they found a place in the lineup. And I think it's completely possible. They just need to give them the opportunities. It can't be, you know, what did Kapanen play last season? 18 games or something like that. And I think Beck played even less. If that's all the time that they could give to these kids, fine, that makes sense. They're moving at a lot faster pace than what they expected. But don't just, you know, do it one season, then give up on them. So I'd like to see something happen again this season. So I think that was the 3 points that I wanted to get across. We don't want Veleno to be blocking the road for the prospects. He's coming in at a bargain, and he doesn't have terrible stats where it's going to be like a negative necessarily to have him on the team. And he never played on the best rosters with the best line mates. So there's hope there. I hope that this eases your mind a little bit, maybe gives you a little bit of food for thought. But I'm happy with this. I think this is, you know, it's a good, tiny little thing that the Canadiens did. Ultimately, I trust the staff. There could be things that we don't even see. I'm not, you know, his face-off percentage isn't poor. I forgot to mention that. Oh no, wait, I did mention that. And of course, with Dvorak gone, you know, we need guys taking the face-off. Yeah, that's my piece. That's what I want to say. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for your support as always. I'm really behind. I only got the kids to bed late tonight. Actually, this could be a long video. I recorded a lot here. Hopefully it's not over 10 minutes. But I'm going to edit this and then I'm going to hit the sack. Thank you so much for watching. You know what to do. Like the video, helps me out with search results or whatever. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. I would love to have you. And as always, I will see you down in the comments.